Alright, update time. I'm actually starting this build a lot more earlier than I thought. I'll also be posting this to the Macross forum. So as you can tell, I'm starting to build on high-tech aircraft. Now I know I was going to make this thing pretty big, but considering how big just the engine gosh dang, can't speak. The engine intake is going to be. This thing's gonna be This thing's gonna be pretty big. The reason why I had to make it this big is due to the speakers I'm using inside this thing. These are speakers from an iHome I got from my local Goodwill something like a year and a half ago. And how this is gonna work is I'm just gonna have the speakers more or less resting right this back firewall panel, and just like this. And probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a hole right in here and line it with mesh. And it'll be the same thing on the other side. And I'll have these things play music. And of course it's going to play Macross music. And of course here's the actual finished model that I'll be building. Now, in conclusion with the two speakers I'm going to have in the front, I'm also going to have an LED array in the back that'll pulse to the beat of the music, just like my original Valkyrie does right here. So basically I'll be taking the concept I have inside this Valkyrie, the speaker system, and I'll be basically upscaling it slightly to fit this massive aircraft here that I'm going to be building. I also want to give the guy that built this model the proper whatever it is. This is the person that built the model that I'm going to be using. He's actually worked with me quite a bit to make the model a little bit more easier for me to build, but I'm not going to get into that. But this is how I'm going to have my model. He has his model in the other mode. I'm going to have mine in airplane mode due to it being a lot more easier to carry around. And personally, for me at least, I like it as an aircraft, because I am into airplanes. But as of right now, I'm kind of stuck. Mainly because I'm out of jumbo popsicle sticks. The reason why I need those is because I need to be able to build a superstructure inside these sheets of paper so this thing will be nice and sturdy. Because if I just build it hollow, if I accidentally carry it wrong, or if it drops, it'll just crinkle and get all dented out of whack and everything. So as of right now, I'm kind of stuck in the water, but I did manage to get something done. I got the whole front engine pod built. All I gotta do is just get some jumbo popsicle sticks to build the superstructure. And for the people that don't know what I mean by this, I'm pretty sure at least one or two people somehow managed to stay on my channel throughout the years to watch me build this stuff will know exactly what I'm talking about. But for those that don't, this right here is my life-size Taiga. I built her around 3 years ago, and she's made out of cardstock like the aircraft I'm building right now. And she also has a built-in internal superstructure holding her together so she can stand on her own. And I can actually give you a small taste of what a superstructure is. This right here is a simple superstructure holding her back feet together so her feet don't collapse. But how am I holding her whole body together? Well, that's actually pretty simply shown. I just pull her apart, lay her on the bed, and you can actually see the internal superstructure that I've built inside her. As you can tell, there's a heap ton of wood throughout the whole frame, holding her all together. And believe it or not, I've had her for well over 3 years, and the only repairs I've had to do was to her feet and to her head and hair. Everything else, the skirts, the leg system, everything's been holding up for 3 years. That kind of shows how good I am when it comes to building stuff like this. Then again, if you look at my life-size Mass Effect 3 Jack, which I currently have inside my closet, I've had her for around 4 years now. And she's still in near perfect condition. And of course, how am I holding? And of course, here's the superstructure inside the chest cavity area. Now, actually, considering Taiga here, she isn't that much of an actual build. She only took me about a week to build. So, and the superstructure inside her is actually not that, is actually pretty small in comparison. Because when it comes to the builds I've done over the years, the ones that took up the most that took the most time to build a superstructure in and actually get nice and sturdy is both my Yanchan and my Jack, which are both in the closet. They both have very well built internal superstructures that took hours upon hours to get set up right. Something like Taiga, for instance, she's small and her body can actually hold herself up pretty much, so there's not that much superstructure needing to be done with her. But this kind of gives you an idea of why I need to have jumbo popsicle sticks. So, like I said, for right now, I'll be starting this build, or for right now, I'm kind of at a standstill, but in the next few weeks to come, I'll be posting videos up every so often of how far I've come over the next day or over the days, showing how far I've gone, showing what I'm doing to set up the speaker system inside this aircraft, how I'm setting up the LEDs, how I'm setting up the amplifier to power the speakers in the LEDs. I may somehow add in a Bluetooth receiver so I can wirelessly stream my music. I don't know if I'm going to do that yet. I may go for a headphone jack setup because that's kind of like a hardline setup. It just depends on how this thing comes together. I'm still figuring out exactly what I'm doing in my head for certain things, but overall the plan's coming along. Like I said, I just gotta wait for jumbo popsicle sticks. I'm hopefully going to go out today and get some. So for right now, this is how far I'm going. So if someone wants to somehow sub to me and actually watch me build this thing, be my guest.